Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to What You Want. Thanks for logging on. Now, it's said that Hollywood loves a sequel, and I'll get to what I mean by that in a moment. But Hublot, the luxury Swiss watchmaker known for its raffish flamboyance, also enjoys the concept, and what you see here, the Hublot Big Bang Arctic Camouflage limited edition, one of 250 pieces, is actually the third in the Hublot Big Bang Camouflage series. Now, it started with the Jungle, which was pretty predictable, Predator, Rambo type coloration and color palette. It continued with a tan-colored, tan-influenced reference, again, predictably known as the Desert, but I really feel like the series hit its stride and fired on all cylinders with this one, the Arctic Camouflage. Unlike some of the, stone-faced pseudo-military posturing of the other editions, this comes off as pure fun. Very escapist. It's not like those military pretenders in the sense that this doesn't immediately evoke some horrendous imagery of war-torn third world hotspots. I see this Arctic camouflage, and it's got a little bit of a Hollywood prop flair to it, and that's why I mention Hollywood sequels, because to me, the escapism that this engenders in my mind, that it inspires, that it evokes, is actually related to Christopher Nolan's 2010 cinematic opus Inception, which for my money was the best sci-fi film since the original Matrix of 1999. Now, the whole idea of the dream within a dream within a dream, that like triple recursive dream sequence toward the end, when Leonardo DiCaprio and Cillian Murphy are assaulting that Arctic mountain compound fortress situation, that's really what I think of, because they were wearing gear just like that, and it's that kind of beyond belief escapist notion that this Arctic camouflage inspires, because let's face it, we just don't fight it out over the North Pole these days. So this is more of a fanciful, imaginary camo concept than anything that's just a little too grave to enjoy in the form of a fun luxury sports watch, and I really appreciate that here. Now, the look is pure Hublot. Big, bold, a little bit outlandish, but I like to look at this as the ultimate weekend watch. You put this on a Friday afternoon, I think you don't take it off until Monday morning during your shower. With 10 ATM water resistance, a scratch-resistant ceramic bezel and case to match, with a composite bezel gasket and a Nomex-coated natural rubber strap, this is Hublot's aesthetic principles and materials fusion concept married in a serendipitous package. Like I said, this is pretty much as good as it gets from Hublot, because this captures that fun-loving aspect that really defines the brand. Let me get into those materials again, because they really do define Hublot, and this Big Bang Arctic Camouflage limited edition in particular. Now, as one of only 250, Hublot had to do something to set this watch apart, and they do it beautifully. The material you see is not actually silk screened on top of the rubber. Natural rubber is Hublot's trademark, and it has been since 1980. It's much more supple than butyl or the flimsy silicone material that you see on some cheaper watches. Natural rubber is the real thing, feels great on the wrist, and to that end I'm going to give you the wrist shot. That's 6 1/3 inches on my wrist, kind of oval, flat-ish on top, 16 centimeters for our metric friends. But the bottom line is, that top coat that you see, that Arctic camouflage color, is actually printed on DuPont Nomex. That's the same material used for professional racing suits. It's very, very rugged. It's also fireproof, which strikes me as a bit ironic on a watch that's Arctic themed, but whatever. Tech is cool, and I'm glad to have it. And because Hublot does fuse so many different types of materials, you've got that kind of sci-fi tech fun factor between the Nomex, the natural rubber, the black PVD. You see Hublot bezel bolts in the bezel itself. Those are black PVD titanium. The end links of the bracelet, where they insert into the case, actually join a inner titanium case. The outer case and bezel are ceramic. And it's important to note, for those who might be new to ceramic, that ceramic is the latest in materials technology for cases. Everything that we loved about the scratch-proof sapphire crystal is repeated in the ceramic case. Namely, the fact that it's a solid color. If you scratch it, it doesn't show steel shiny underneath. It's very difficult to scuff, and because its hardness is comparable to sapphire, only a diamond can reliably scratch it. So just stay clear of diamond mines, you should be okay. The composite bezel gasket is both a styling element and another nifty piece of material technology. It sits between the bezel and the case itself to prevent marring of one by the other. And it's an interesting stylistic trait because it's exaggerated and it's really pronounced. It becomes part of the design, kind of modernist standard, bringing the machine from the outside in. The dial is another study in Hublot logic. Now, it might be difficult to see the numerals and indexes themselves. They are a very high quality black oxidized applied set, so they're not printed on, but the key to reading this watch is to just look at the black oxidized hands. It's a watch that once you get used to it becomes intuitive to use. So while at first glance you might think that camouflage dial is doing its job just a little bit too well, once you learn to look for the loomed batons of the hands, you realize it's just kind of like reading a Movado museum watch. Just have a number or a reference in mind from experience, from looking at analog watches your whole life. Have a sense of where the numbers would be, and just by seeing the hands you'll know what time it is. It's quite easy to use, and it's more than worth the price of admission, learning how to use that intuitive setup to enjoy a watch this stylish and this much fun. And it is that everyday watch, that never take it off weekender, because it's got that durable case that's not going to scratch. It's got a rubber strap that can jump in the pool or in the ocean, play in the sand, and not spoil the way leather will or scratch the way metal will. It's got a chronograph, which is the king of complications. The stopwatch feature combined with the date window that you see right here at 4:30 means you've got all of the practical complications you could ever need. Plus, you've got automatic winding. Thanks to the Hublot caliber 4100, Valjoux 7750 based, this one's automatic winding 42-hour power reserve, a very interesting combination of polished elements and satin finished elements. It also features a very cool tungsten winding rotor, and now with tungsten light bulbs pretty much phased out of production, this might be the only place you see a piece of that metal this size. So it's got that material science kind of techie hook to it as well. Now the 7750 is one of the toughest chronograph movements ever made, an absolute workhorse. It's well known for its durability, and in that sense it just compounds this watch's status as one you wear all the time. It's not a delicate daisy. As cool as the camo pattern looks, this is a watch that's only going to be constrained in its use by the fact that, well, let's face it folks, you might not want to wear this one with a business suit or a tux, but hey, if you can pull it off, more power to you. Very Hollywood, I would say. Maybe that's one to wear to the Oscars to accept your Academy Award for Best Special Effects. And in Hublot's case, with the Hublot Big Bang Arctic Camouflage, I have to say that the effect is outstanding. It's a beautifully appointed watch, a watch that's a lot of fun to wear, features all the practical complications and functionality that you would expect in a daily watch, with a pretty cool backstory and its best of the series status within the Hublot Camo continuity. Check it out 100% complete on watchyouwant.com with all Hublot factory and boutique accessories, everything from the porthole box to the computerized Wise Key. All accessories and documents of provenance are included with this Hublot Big Bang Arctic Camouflage Limited Edition.